In the previous session, we discussed about the general aspects of isomerism. In the general aspects of isomerism, we talked about the definition and various types of isomerism, like structural isomerism and stereoisomerism. In this session, we'll discuss about the stereoisomerism. The objectives of the session are: at the end of the session, the learner shall be able to describe stereoisomerism, types of stereoisomerism, and then geometric isomerism, basis of optical isomerism, and also finally optical activity. Okay, then let us talk about the first one, the types of the stereoisomerism. As I discussed in the previous session, so there are two types. So that is, one is geometric isomerism, where there is a presence of double bonds, carbon-carbon double bonds are present, whereas the second one is optical isomerism, where it is due to the presence of asymmetric carbon atom. Let us first talk about the geometric isomerism. The second objective, we talk about the geometric isomerism. So what is the geometric isomerism? So what are the different types? So that we will talk about. Okay. Then in the geometric isomerism, again, there are two types of isomerism is present. That is what we call cis and trans isomerism. Cis and trans, okay, isomerism. Okay, so in the cis and trans isomerism, let us see what it is. Let us see what it is. As I said, geometric isomerism, there is a presence of carbon-carbon double bond. When there is a presence of carbon-carbon double bonds are there, so there are two different types of substituents are there, groups are there, they are attached to it. Okay, let us see two groups which are A is here A. Okay, so this is the B and here it is B. So this is the one group and this is the another group. Okay, so identical groups they are attached to it. Here what you see here is both this A group at one side and then B group is the another side. So single carbon, single bond is the carbon. The groups can be moved easily. There is no restriction. There is restriction of the freedom of the rotation of these groups, whereas single carbon, whereas double bond, it is not like that. So there is a restriction is there. Both the groups are at one side, that we call it cis isomerism. That is cis isomerism. Then let us see the second one. What is it? Here you can see. Okay, here A and here B. And okay, here it is okay, A and here it is B. So like that, you can see the groups arrangement like that. This is a trans arrangement is there. Okay, so if I want to write it, here it is B and here it is, okay, then here A. See, you can see here. So both in the first case it is A, here it is C across. So it is present BB like that. So this is what we call trans isomerism. Let me take one example, very common example of cis trans isomerism. What is the common example? We say malic acid and fumaric acid. Let us see. So malic acid, the fumaric acid we come across in the Krebs cycle, TCA cycle. So it is what we call Krebs cycle. Okay, so this is carboxyl group. Here it is carboxyl group is present. Here hydrogen. Here it is hydrogen. This is what we call malic acid. Let us see. This is the cis. Another isomer. Let us see here. Change of the groups. Okay, here carboxyl group. Okay, here carboxyl group. Here, okay, hydrogen. Here it is hydrogen. See how this arrangement, it is trans arrangement. Trans arrangement. This is what we call malic acid. Malic acid, and this is fumaric acid. Fumaric acid, malic acid and fumaric acid. See the arrangement here. Here, the arrangement of the carboxyl groups you can see here at the same side, whereas the arrangement of the carboxyl groups here you can see opposite side. That is the fumaric acid. Okay, it is called fumaric acid. Malic acid and fumaric acid. See the arrangement of the groups around the double carbon with double bonds, carbon carbon double bond, that leads to the formation of two types of geometric isomers. Geometric isomers. The second one. Let us talk about the second one. Second type of isomerism, that is our third objective. That is what we call optical isomer. We call it optical isomerism. When I talk about the optical isomerism, so the first thing which comes to our mind is presence of asymmetric carbon. So this is the carbon which is at the center. Okay, let me talk about this is the one group and this is the second group. Okay, so this is the four valencies. Okay, then the fourth one is like this. This center, what we call this center is the carbon. This is what we call is a chiral center. We call chiral center. Okay, so it is the asymmetric carbon. All the four different groups are present. So then when you talk about all the four different groups, what is symmetrical and what is asymmetrical? Let us see what is symmetrical and what is asymmetrical. See, here there is a circle is present. Here, when you draw the line, okay, there is symmetry is present. So, whereas in other case, let us see how asymmetrical one looks like. See, okay, then when you talk about this particular one, so there is no such thing. Okay, there are like this. Okay, so this is asymmetric. Asymmetric. One is symmetry, the other one is asymmetric. It is, we call it symmetric. Symmetric. Okay, this one is asymmetric. Okay, this is called asymmetric. Asymmetric. Okay, this is the asymmetric object. This is the symmetric object. So, what I can give an example. The asymmetric. You see the left hand and right hand. The left hand is the mirror image of the right hand. Can never be superimposed. Suppose if I see our left hand is a mirror image of right hand. Left hand is the mirror image of right hand. So they are not superimposable. They are not never. They can never be. They can never be superimposable. You can try also here. Put a right hand on our left hand. They can never be superimposed. Okay. Okay. So this is the ordinary light. In this one, all the four directions, all the directions, the light travels, spreads. Okay. Let us see here. Okay. Here it is. All the directions. So when you put a Nicol prism, so it is ordinary light. Ordinary light. So it pass through this Nicol prism. Let us see. Prism. Okay. So you get the plane polarized light. So you get the plane polarized light. So we call it plane polarized light. Polarized light. Okay. Then, so what happens when you see this plane polarized light? So if you pass through a solution in a test tube, let us see what will be the. Okay. So what will be the consequences? What will be the consequences? When you pass through this light, this one, it tests you, what will be the consequences? So that is either the path of the light is changed towards left or towards the right. To the right. It is towards the left and towards the right. You got it? So, okay. So, one in this way, the path of the light changes. So, if it is towards the left, we call it levorotatory. We call it levorotatory. If it is right, we call it dextrorotatory. Dextrorotatory. It is very important to understand because we'll study this one in carbohydrates, how monosaccharides they behave. Okay, there is a capital D, small d. So it is, we say small l, also we say minus, it is small d, it is plus. Okay, dextrorotatory and levorotatory. Okay, so let us see here. Once we talk about this one, take the example of one particular carbohydrate. So let me take a smallest of the monosaccharide. So that is glyceraldehyde. Glyceraldehyde, let us see here. Okay, glyceraldehyde, the isomers of the glyceraldehyde. Okay, this is the one way. So we express. So glyceraldehyde. Okay, the other one you see here. Okay, around there, second carbon, the changes of the configuration. Okay, CH2OH. So we call it deglyceraldehyde. Deglyceraldehyde. Here it is left side. It is, we call it L-glyceraldehyde. L-glyceraldehyde. Okay, L-glyceraldehyde. L-glyceraldehyde. Okay, so this deglyceraldehyde can be levorotatory or dextrorotatory. Levorotatory or dextrorotatory. This is small l, small d. Like also L-glyceraldehyde can be levorotatory or dextrorotatory. There is a capital D, there is a small d. So that is, you have to understand while studying about the monosaccharides. Levorotatory, dextrorotatory, so they are present in equal amount. So then that particular solution, the particular compound doesn't show any optical activity. So we say no optical activity. No optical activity. So in that condition, what we call that mixture, it doesn't show any optical activity, that we call racemic mixture. We call racemic mixture. Okay. So these are all very important because enzymes are highly specific. They're selecting their substrate. Okay, this is about the stereoisomerism. What is the take-home message? Okay, in this session of the stereoisomerism, so we have put the four objectives. So one is types of stereoisomerism. What are the different types? Geometric isomerism we have studied. So basis of optical isomerism and optical activity. At the end of the session, the learner shall be know and describe all these aspects. So when we talk about the types, okay, so there is a geometric isomerism and optical isomerism. We first took up geometric isomerism. In the geometric isomerism, there is a cis-trans isomerism. We explained, taking the example around the carbon with the double bonds. The orientation, we said one is, we talked about the cis, the other one, we said trans. So there is opposite. So opposite, they are present, the same groups. That is, we call trans. So we explained further, taking the example of malic acid and fumaric acid. Okay, malic acid, both the carboxyl groups and hydrogen, they are on one side, whereas in fumaric acid, they are in the opposite side. Then we took up the optical isomerism. We talked about the asymmetric carbon, the chiral center. We have shown the symmetric object and asymmetric object. Okay. Then We also talked about comparison between left hand, right hand. So left hand is the mirror image of the right hand, but they can never be superimposed. Okay, they can never be superimposed. Then we say a ordinary line can travel in all the directions, but when you pass through the Nicole prism, so it is becomes a plain polarized light in one direction. So what happens here? A solution containing this one, so then the path of the light is deviated, changed either towards the left or towards the right. Okay, if towards the left, we said levorotatory, that is small l and minus, whereas towards the right, dextrorotatory, that is small d plus. We have taken an example of glyceraldehyde. So where we said D-glyceraldehyde based on the configuration of OH near the primary alcohol group. So if it is towards the right, that is D-glyceraldehyde. If it is towards the left, that is, we say L-glyceraldehyde. That capital D, capital L. D-glyceraldehyde can show either levorotatory, or it can be dextrorotatory. But if, like also L-glyceraldehyde, if they are present in the solution contains the equal amount of levorotatory or dextrorotatory, it doesn't show any optical activity. That we call it racemic mixture. With this, we have completed the stereoisomerism. In the next session, we'll take up the isomerism existing in monosaccharides. Okay, thank you. Thank you very much.